Hi, and welcome back to Car Juice. Today I'm going to be giving you guys the squeeze on the 2015 BMW 335 and why I think you might want to buy one in 2025. As you guys know, inflation is fucking ripping. I'm a 25-year-old guy and I can't afford anything that I used to, and unfortunately sports cars are part of that. So I just took in this 2015 335. I personally drive a 2009 335, and I wanted to make a video just going over why I think this is like one of the best value propositions in this current day and age where things are very expensive. So the F30 generation BMW 3 Series came out in 2013, and whenever it first came out, I truly didn't really like it, especially compared to the E92 and generally just the E90 and especially the E46. When I was in high school, this was just like, it's okay. They ruined the engine with the N20 engine, and the N54 and N55 were just okay. Very good for tuning, but not that reliable. The reason I say that a 2015 would be probably a decent purchase is you could save, this one has about 72,000 miles on it, has the last year for the N54 engine, and overall is a relatively bulletproof year as long as you're not looking to tune your car. This is a really, really good daily driver. So with 72,000 miles, this thing's gonna be about $18,000, give or take, when we go to sell it. And I really think that since it's the last year, all of the quirks are going to be worked out. You have a straight six engine with a single twin scroll turbo, 300 horsepower. If you want to tune it up to about 370, it can do that no problem. It's not going to win you any 0 to 60 races at a 4.8 second 0 to 60 stock, but this is a one owner car. It's been taken care of pretty well. And I think that there's going to be a lot of these that are coming up for sale here soon, and hopefully it's not going to be one that depreciates too bad compared to the 340. For a 2016 340, to get in that same price range, you're gonna be well over 100,000 miles. It's got the same styling with slightly different headlights and taillights than what the previous generation had, but it's still a good looking car. If you threw a little spoiler on the back of this thing, some black exhaust pipes, and some window tint, this thing's gonna be a sweet car, and it has an excellent chassis. Whenever I had my 340, I legitimately think that was like one of the easiest cars to drive really fast and do stupid things because the chassis is so legible on the F30. Even though this thing is all-wheel drive, you throw it into Sport Plus, and this thing will get sideways just enough without putting you into a wall and also without breaking the bank. The 3 Series generation has always been kind of the driver's car version of a BMW, and this is the last BMW, in my opinion, other than maybe the M240, that still has that full-fat BMW DNA. The trunk is 3 to 5 bodies large, depending on how large those bodies are, and you do have folding rear cargo capacity, so you can just put the seat right down. You also have a twin exhaust on the back, so if you get some cool tips or simply a downpipe and a tune, this thing will sound really good. It already really doesn't sound bad. The back seat has plenty of space with some nice little divots for your little feetsies. Let's go ahead and see. So sitting behind a 6-foot driver, you're gonna have probably about 3 inches or so of legroom as a 5'8" passenger, and then sitting behind a very short driver, you've got probably about 5 or so inches of legroom. So pretty standard, a little bit smaller than most modern cars at this day and age. Most modern cars are getting bigger and bigger. This still gives you that legible chassis and is very functional and practical. Headroom is good with about 3 to 4 inches or so of headroom. Not giant, not small, just right. Goldilocks zone in terms of car stuff. Also, you can get real leather seats, which is also very, very good. Let's go ahead and hop out on the outside. I'm gonna talk about the wheels, the brakes, and some other cool stuff. This car does have some aftermarket tires put on it. It's Michelin All Seasons, which are good. These do come from the factory with run flats. The size on the sidewall is 225/45/18. It's a square tire, so it's gonna be relatively cheap. Whenever I had my 340, I did put 255s on the back, and then I put 225s in the front. With this stock tire setup, this thing gets sideways really easy. As you start going to a wider tire, you're not gonna be able to get it sideways quite as well. I also like the 5-spoke wheel design, very classic, very demure, very BMW-esque. If you want to upgrade to the larger brake calipers, you can do so, and then you will also have the ability to have them be colored, which is pretty cool. You're gonna have auto dimming rear mirrors on the sides and nice LED headlights with cornering. This one does have the upgraded xenon headlights. I believe that was standard on the 335, and it just looks cool and modern and overall just nice. You don't have any kind of nonsensical sensors that just get in the way, and it's a true driver's car. So if you are roughly, 25, 26 years old, you are gonna be right at home with this thing. Unfortunately, on the inside, this is where it starts to feel a little bit dated, and one of the only downsides or qualms that I necessarily have with the car. Thankfully, audio, very good. Still has Bluetooth. No CarPlay, that sucks, but Bluetooth is good enough. And you do have the Harman Kardon's audio system. And since the car is so cheap, you can afford to be a little bit picky and wait around until you can get one that does have the Harman Kardon. This steering wheel is quite nice without a flat bottom, but it has like a good steering feel. It's a good thickness and overall very nice. I wish it had paddle shifters, because that is honestly probably the worst part about this car is no paddle shifters, and the heated steering wheel is down there on the side of it, which is a little bit weird. I don't really care about the heated steering wheel. I'm assuming you probably don't care about it that much, but I just want to point that out as a difference with this. No automatic high beams. It's an old car. It does have automatic headlights at least, and it does have the rain sensing wipers, so you don't have to touch your wiper blades like a peasant. In the center console, you still have your air conditioning right on the dash, which is great. Heated seats on either side, pretty common option. This one has them in the rear. And then you still have a backup camera, which is also like one of those things that, it's not as nice as it used to be. I drive 5 on the inside, so old school, doesn't do much. Navigation, gonna be outdated, but use your phone, get a little CarPod Go mount, put that in front of the car, you're good to go. Or there are some retrofits you can get online where you can update this to have CarPlay. I personally don't like messing around with the factory wiring harness because that's when things start going wrong, but do that at your own risk. But I'm here to say that I would not recommend it. Another thing that's kind of cool is you do have a old school sunroof that you can just open and close. It's a hard panel, which reduces some of the wind noise and cabin noise, and it's just nice to have things be how they used to be. I'm a boomer, and it is what it is. Last couple of things I want to mention, you've got an integrated garage door opener, and it's just a good driver's car. For under 20 grand, you aren't really going to be able to find much else that's much cooler than this. But that's enough yapping. Let's go get to clapping, and we're going to take this thing on a quick spin. I'm going to put one version of you guys here on the door, and put another version of you guys here on the window, and we're gonna take this thing on a quick spin. So we're in the driver's seat of the 2015 BMW 335. And let's just take this thing for a friggin' rip, boys. All right. Again, love this steering wheel. The chassis legibility with this platform is so daggone good. It's probably because I drove mine for 20,000 miles, but this is the car that taught me how to swing a little bit in corners without killing myself. I love that with this one, the traction control automatically goes into M dynamic mode when you put it in sport. The later generation of this, whenever the 340 first came out, and the early M340, in my opinion, is peak modern BMW. Prior to that is the E46, and that's also probably because I'm a fanboy, and that's what my dad had when I was growing up, and I just thought it was really cool. The platform on this one, super cool, a little bit of tunable. If you did like stage 2, I've got mine stage 2 plus on the N54, and I'm rocking just about 400 horsepower. If you did an all-wheel drive, you're gonna have that faster 0 to 60 times stock, and that's probably what I would say if you were gonna go for a daily, just because this thing is still so swingable for what it is, even being in that all-wheel drive platform. Plus, you can do that fuse delete where you just take out a fuse and suddenly your car is rear-wheel drive. Also, again, probably wouldn't recommend doing that, but you can if you want to. Some other cool things that I want to mention with this platform is you can also go for a rear-wheel drive, and if you don't live in a place that gets snow, it's really fun and you can have a lot of fun with this thing. And these hopefully will be holding their value pretty well. The nice thing with BMWs, as long as you don't put a ton of miles on them, they hold their value relatively decently, especially if you find one that's well equipped with M Sport and that sort of thing. It's just going to be one of those cars that people like to look at, and I think that it hopefully won't depreciate too bad. Obviously, the 340 is going to be a little bit more reliable with that first generation B58, and it's going to be more tunable. Downside is that with this, it's not as, the transmission and the engine aren't quite as good. Even though this still has the ZF 8-speed, it's punchy and it grabs between shifts very well, but you lose those paddle shifters. You also, unfortunately, don't have access to the B58 engine, so the turbos don't quite spool up as fast, and it's just not quite as athletic as what is in the B58. So take my opinion, don't take my opinion, but I love the 335, personally own one in the E92 generation, and I think that this is going to be a very good car if you guys are in the market for something cheap and fast and cool and fun and fresh. And thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, make sure that you hit that like button. I'm going to be doing some different content in the future as I am changing jobs, and I'm going to have to start changing it up and doing some of these older car videos. So I appreciate you guys watching to the end, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you liked it, hit the subscribe and leave a like and leave a comment, because it helps me out tremendously. All right, catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.